Welcome to Wedding Day Podcast with your hosts, Sonia Babich, CEO of Iron Diamond Media, a leading wedding resource featuring 7 localized wedding brands across the country, and Dan Riggs, photography and videography expert and founder of Summit Hill Studios. Come along as they travel from state to state to connect with the most creative and well-respected professionals in the wedding industry. Every episode will arm you with the hottest new trends, wedding day tips and details, and they'll show you all the joys of planning your perfect wedding day.
Hi everybody, Sonia Babich here with Wedding Day Podcast with my co-host for today, Laura Burnap.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
We are here with Richard Sines with Royal Films. Thank you, Richard, for being here today.
Hi everyone, I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we're excited to have you. We always love working with you with California Wedding Day and definitely Arizona Bride. So we're just thrilled to have you here in our hotel.
Yes.
I'm grateful for every opportunity and anytime we can work together. It's amazing. I love working on these editorials and all the above. So
yeah. You crushed those fashion videos. So beautiful.
Yes, I know. Jessie is nearby, and when we can have you on board, she is very happy. When we say Richard, she goes, yes.
Face lights up.
Yes.
So how did you become you with Royal Films? When did you get into videography, and what's your story?
Yeah, I started wedding videography back in 2012. My wife and I, we worked together as a husband and wife team. And so we've been doing it now for a little over a decade. So we got into it because at the time, 2012, there weren't that many job opportunities. So we created our own opportunity. Like, hey, if we want to get married, and we got to get something started. And we did our first wedding. That first year, we ended up doing 33 weddings. And so it was just everything just kind of accelerated from that point for that first year. And I fell in love with it.
So did you go to film school, or what's your background in terms of?
Yeah, so my background is business marketing.
Okay.
But I have my background over the years. I've learned how to shoot, edit. I self-taught a lot of myself, but I follow a lot of people that I admire throughout the years, like that I love, like, and just learn and just from other artists. And so I had the opportunity to do that.
So essentially, you're a natural.
I wouldn't say
it becomes natural to you.
Yeah, but I love it. It's passion. I'm really passionate in what I do, and whenever I get to learn something new, I'm always learning. I will never say that I've achieved the top of my game. I can't, because I always want to grow.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are our first videographer on Wedding Day Podcast, besides, of course, our co-host, Dan Riggs.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'd love to break it down a little bit more. What you were mentioning different styles.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was different styles with videography. Please share.
No, absolutely. I feel like because there's just so many different styles out there. Like, one can be a very documentary style where you're just capturing moments as they're happening. Mm-hmm. There's also moments where you want a little more direction, and if you like to be told what to do. Some people don't. They just want to naturally just be themselves. And there's a hybrid of that as well. And I kind of find myself to be in that hybrid because I do love to get moments to let happen and not feel like I'm giving too much direction. I really just want to be behind the scenes and film these beautiful shots. My style is very cinematic, which I do take a lot of like a film approach on how I'm documenting these moments. So I try to do it in a very artistic way. And I do love working with brides and grooms that I can create these amazing imagery. I'm like, hey, can I have you guys do this for me real quick? Mm-hmm. And so I love to do that. So depending on the couples and if they want to be hands-on, I know the camera can be very intimidating, but you do your best to try to make your couple like relax and just be able to enjoy the date, because that's really my heart, is that their wedding day experience comes first. I don't want it to be about, I definitely do not want it to be about like just how we're filming. I'm creating a piece for them, not for myself. And so I really want to create a piece that it comes from the heart and really tells generally a story of who the couple is. And so there's different approaches to that.
Yeah, very interesting. I love that breakdown.
I was just going to ask, like, do you feel like your approach changes with different couples? Like, you kind of read who they are, get to know them. Does that have influence how you work with them? Or?
No, absolutely. So what I do when in the consultation especially, I really get to know how they got together, listen to their love story, and really ask them like, hey, what do you like to do for fun?
Right.
And when I hear a little bit about their story, then I get a better idea on the wedding day how to even approach, or maybe if they enjoy going on walks, like I may have them a few more shots of them walking together. They're adventurous. Hey, let's do a shot of you both just running.
Right.
And so just little things like that I can create into the film as I get to learn who my couples are. And so yeah, I definitely love to do that.
I love that.
So when a couple is looking for their dream videographer,
Right.
what should they look for when they're interviewing a videographer?
That's a great question. I feel they definitely need to see their most recent work. I feel like their most recent work is going to speak volume. And also, I would even look at the reviews that people are leaving online, but not just looking specifically at that, but also even referrals. Asking, hey, do you know somebody who you already work with? The biggest source of my work has come from just word of mouth, and so I love that. So as couples are looking for the videographers, I always encourage them. I would encourage them to definitely look at different options so that they can really see the different styles and the different approaches and see what best suits them.
Well, I know there's word of mouth because I know so many wedding professionals love working with you, Richard. So I'm not surprised that is the case to find you. But people have to remember that it's like a photographer, a videographer is also with them the entire day.
Yeah.
So you have to jive with your videographer too.
Absolutely. It's a teamwork. Yeah, you have to be working together throughout the day.
And seeing how you work behind the scenes, you are truly behind the scenes. Like you don't even notice you're there. And you're just with your camera, and then all of a sudden you're flying what is it called?
Drone.
And then sometimes we lose it, right, Richard?
Sometimes we lose it. Absolutely.
Have you really?
No,
What
the
was
first
it?
time I got in my drone, I crashed it the first day.
Are you serious?
Isn't it Arizona? The fashion?
Arizona?
Yeah, the style shoot with Ryan?
Ryan?
I just swear you crashed one.
Oh,
or
no,
something.
it wasn't that one. Okay. That must have been another South.
That was off the cuff. Sorry, guys.
You know, the first time I tried to fly a drone, I flew it into my daughter's face.
Oh.
It was really great footage.
I can only imagine.
That's why you need to hire the
And
expert.
that's why you hire an expert and not someone you know,
Yeah.
so that you don't, ruin
But
a guest.
that's a great question. So
Yeah.
drones, I'm sure that's a popular thing or request that they want to have on a wedding day
Yeah.
from like the ceremony or the reception. So that's a good question to ask. Do they have the license to fly one?
Yeah, so you do. There's a Part 107 license that a videographer or photographer can get with the FAA. I recently got it about a little over a year ago, and it kind of gives you legitimacy too, and being able to fly in places that you normally wouldn't if you didn't have a license. So one thing that not a lot of videographers are knowing now is that more venues are starting to ask for insurance specifically for drones, and also they're starting to ask for their license and that. So it's become a little more stricter as like the technology gets better and it becomes more accessible, because it has been more accessible over the last few years. It's very common to see it in almost every wedding film.
So I think that's an important question to ask when you're booking your videographer about insurance and license, because you don't want to have that on your
To
wedding
expect
day.
you're having it happen and then get there and find out that they can't do it, right?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
they get scolded and then they can't do it and make their perfect wedding video come true.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a liability too, so you just have to, be safe. And I when I'm flying my drone, take not too much risk. Like I like to just fly it very conservatively.
Yeah.
You were just saying that you were in Napa last weekend
Yes.
for a wedding. Where else do you travel? Do you travel a lot as a videographer?
Well, this is right before COVID. We weren't doing that much travel, and my business shift into the more destination work over the last few years, and I've loved it. So yeah, we've traveled quite a few places. My wife and I, we filmed the wedding over at the Amalfi Coast.
nice.
last year.
That sounds terrible.
Right, terrible.
Yeah.
It's,
So sorry you had to do that.
Yeah, and so we spend a few extra days out there and enjoy. And I'm all about like immersing myself in cultures. And even before we started our business, I did a lot of traveling missionary work. So this is my way of getting back into it and just learning people's culture and exploring new places. And so I love that I can merge that with my job and all the opportunities that are coming. I mean, we're talking about France. I've gone to Mexico a few times, and so it's great.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I have to ask the ideal question, I should
Right.
say. When should they start booking their videographer? Like how far in advance should they book out their videographer to their wedding day?
Yeah, I would definitely encourage brides and grooms to look for their videographers about a year or so. That just gives enough time, because I'm starting to realize that even within my time frame, I'm about 30 weddings a year, and so that can get pretty busy depending on.
Yeah, there's only
the time.
52
Right.
weekends.
Yeah.
If it's a weekend wedding, of course. But
So in-demand photographers, if you have somebody who you really want,
Yes,
you need to get
exactly.
them booked or it's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Which would,
and of course, a lot of times, for some reason, videography is one of the last things that they sometimes do because it comes down to
Yeah,
budget.
it
And
is.
I always tell everybody, if they ask me, would you invest in a videographer? And I absolutely say, hands down, that was one of the best money that
Right.
we've ever spent, because you get to hear the voices, see those smiles, hear your voice when you're young. So when you're older, you can go back and hear yours, what it used to sound, or your grandma's. So I always say that is one of the best things to do. Like, pictures are great, but video is just live.
right.
It's live, and you can see the love and the real love story come to life.
And you can experience those memories all over again, which is really rare.
Absolutely.
We watch ours every year. Just,
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, we do. We do. And maybe I do a lot more than him, but
Yeah.
but it is. It's just like you hear the happy tears, and it's just a good reminder for everybody.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see all the families coming together and just enjoying the moment. And you look 10 years from now, and your parents and kids when they were kids, and they're going to be teenagers, and going back and looking at it's part of that love story. So it's always special, and I always encourage if to make a budget for videography, no matter what the budget is, just get somebody to just document those special moments.
What's your favorite part of your job? Like what drives you?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. For me, what drives me is knowing that I can create a piece of work for my couples, and seeing the joy that it brings to them. So something that I've been recently doing is a lot more of these like next day reel edits. And I tell you now, it's amazing to see, when sometimes if I do it the day of, they're just reaction. They're like, oh wow, we love this. Or when I send it, you see all the comments and posts of the wedding day. And so, that's one thing I've been recently doing.
That's really cool. That's a great addition, especially with, so many brides and couples, grooms,
Yeah.
everyone wants to get their wedding out on social media. So to have that at their fingertips,
Exactly.
it's a great add-on.
Because they want to just show off, being like, I got married, and look how fabulous it was, and I was so happy.
Look at my dress.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, of course, I know you love working with planners, because, of course, that makes the day just run smoothly.
Yes.
So, when planners, select you, right, do you feel like you want to be on their Rolodex, right? Or, why do you love working with a planner, I should say?
Yeah, I love working with planners because it absolutely makes the wedding day so much easier. You know that they're going to take everything from A to Z. You can show up and know that you have everything you need going into a wedding day. And if something goes wrong, you know who to go to.
Right.
And so I love when I get to work with planners.
So, do you only take clients that have a planner?
No, I actually, but I do encourage my clients to look for planners. I would refer a planner to them if not, because I will share with them that that on wedding days a lot of things can go wrong, and so we definitely it's good to have somebody there that you can always rely on. Yeah.
It's such a huge part of the day that so many people think, oh no, my sister can do it, or I've got this, I can do it. But the vendors are the biggest decision you make, and they're the ones that really make the day run perfectly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So your ideal wedding, like if you could say would love to shoot a wedding,
Yeah.
where would you like to shoot this beautiful wedding of your dreams, like
Yeah.
that you haven't done before?
Right. Well, I do love Italy, and if I can go back after that wedding at the Amalfi, I'd love to go maybe a wedding in Venice or Tuscany.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Honestly, I love destination weddings because it really is an experience for the guests, and you get. I've always loved, even growing up as a kid, I always loved documenting my family in trips. So I would be the kid with the camera filming, and I would put something together for them. And so when we show those stories again, it's just beautiful to see how much it brings up so many amazing memories of
I
that
can really
experience.
tell just by some of the connections and conversations with destination wedding professionals that you truly make a bond with them
Yeah.
after this big life moment. Like it's like you don't want to probably say your goodbyes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, is that absolutely? It is hard. Yeah, when you go, because you build that relationship in that closeness with the guest and people. I feel that I still communicate with the brides and grooms. The one that I did with the Amalfi Coast, we're constantly just talking back and forth.
Well,
And,
who wouldn't want to be your friend?
Exactly.
Thank you.
I know we do.
Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you, Laura.
Well, seriously, thank you so much, Richard, for sitting down with us today. You educated us a lot and your expertise, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm just excited and thrilled to just continuously have these opportunities to work with you and your team. You guys are amazing.
Always. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.